Welcome everyone. I don't look for a lot of people to show up, so I will try to keep this short today just so that we can have maybe some people from the replay crew because I know anything over an hour usually doesn't get replayed. So let me go ahead and say hello to everyone. Hi Nicole, what an honor. Thank you for joining today. Hey Arctic, how are you, my partner in crime? We have Suitcase Sammy. Thank you, Sammy. Missing alerts, the second coming. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining today. Who else we got? We have plus ones. Stan Man. Hope you're doing good, Stan. Liking that hairdo you got going on today. Critical consideration. Thank you for joining. Lippy Chicken, one of my favorite names. Oh, we have Steve. We have Dexter Theory. Thanks, Dexter. I know you're from that area. I'm glad to see you. Hey, Tree Nut. We have Guilter number one. All right. Don't be guilting me today. Go with number two. Hey, apparently. Good to see you. Done. Welcome. Nice to see you. Invisible Amy. I can see you today. I'm glad you're here. Reluctant. I like that name. Um, I think that's it for now. I'll go back down to the bottom. So today is I had already went over Conrad's story once, and this is kind of local to me. I mean, I'm not right in that community, but I'm close. So this one kind of hits home. And having an autistic grandson definitely hits home for me. And it should for each and every one of you. Thank you, Nicole. So what this is, if you are not familiar with Conrad Ashcraft's case, here's the deal. So I have this little short that I made just to kind of grab attention, and I will go over that. But I'm also going to put the link to the other live into. I see, Doodlebug. Did you? No, I did not. Arctic, I did not see the Amber Alert. If you will send that to Facebook Messenger, I'll try to grab that real quick if you have time. If not, then I'll try in the middle. But with Conrad, the other live that I did, I'm going to put the link for that video in the description. It's not too long. I believe it's an hour. But when I do a case like this, I really want to give updates because it's so important that this baby get justice. And I'm sure you can tell by like even my tone, I'm kind of just outraged by it because small town, and I know we're going to go the route of corruption and all of that, but I really don't want to go that route. I want to try to believe that everyone's doing the right thing, but in every case, we have something that really just kind of eats at you. Well, this is one of them, and I will show that. But first, I want to go ahead and play this short for you. And while that's playing, I'm going to go ahead and look for that Amber Alert because Amber Alerts always come first. And I'm going to go ahead and play that for you right now.
Old autistic nonverbal son at his daycare. Imagine when you go to pick him up, the daycare worker says he has been napping for hours. Imagine you go to find him on a cot in a hallway, covered with an 18-pound weighted blanket over him when you know your son, your everything, your heart and soul. He only weighs 21 pounds. Imagine the panic and pain as you see he is deceased and has been for hours. Conrad Ashcraft had been deceased for hours upon his mother's arrival. The daycare worker allegedly tells police that he wouldn't nap, so she put the 18-pound weighted blanket over the top of him until he held still, and then, brace yourself, she also laid her legs over him so he couldn't move. Let's jump right into this because, well, it had been over 30 days and absolutely not want to rest.
Sorry, I was muted. I have to do that at least 2 or 3 times alive, or it wouldn't be the same. Welcome, Nina. I'm so glad you could be here. I did find the Amber Alert for Idaho. I'm gonna go ahead and go over that first because Amber Alerts are so important. I know Arctic, this one, his little face. I mean, I don't know the family, but I feel like I do. But let me go ahead with this Amber Alert and jump right into this because there's so much to this case now. So much. So let me see if I can share my screen. We'll go over that Amber Alert first. Okay. So this is an Amber Alert out of Idaho. It says Idaho State Police have issued an Amber Alert for 2 teens out of Monteview, Idaho. Alan Fisher, 13, and Rochelle Fisher, 15, were last seen at 7 p.m. At this time, police believe they may be heading to a fundamentalist Latter day Saints group in Mendon, Utah. The two teens may be with their adult sibling. They may also be in a gray Honda sedan and Utah plates. Allen is described as being 5'9", blue eyes, blonde hair. He was last seen in blue jeans and a blue shirt. Rochelle, I've lost my place here. Rochelle is described as being 5 feet 5 inches tall with blue eyes, brown hair, and wearing a green dress. In a Facebook post from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, they said that Alintra D. Fisher, now 18, was reported missing January 1st, 2023. Alintra is the sister of Alan and Rochelle and has not been located at this time. Wow. Oh. Hmm. Okay. So it looks like Arctic. Do I have this right? This is them, right? The sister, the one that's missing, and these two on the right are the ones that are the Amber Alerts for now. I'm pretty sure that that's right. Okay. Okay, so here they are. The one on the left, that's their older sibling that has been missing, and here you have Rochelle and her brother here. Guys, if you think you see them anywhere, please call 911 immediately. That's a little odd that the older one is missing and then these 2 have an Amber Alert. That's so unfortunate. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna come back over here. Well, let's see if I how I did that. Okay, so this case is more than just a little boy on a screen. This is Conrad. Let me go ahead and play this while I'm talking. His little face. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So anyway, this is not just a little boy with face on a screen. This isn't a little 3-year-old that we normally put up with a missing flyer, anything like that. This is a 3-year-old that his mama got him up ready. She had to go to work. She dropped him off at daycare, and it went downhill from there. Like it didn't just go a typical day in a little 3-year-old's life. You go to daycare, you get snacks, you play with other children, and you enjoy yourself. For Conrad, this was a nightmare. And by nightmare, I wanna go ahead and read this to you guys. Like I said, you're gonna hear my voice shake a little bit because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm pissed. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in some law enforcement agencies, which I know this is still an ongoing investigation, and, I want so bad to believe that these officers are out there doing their job, they're working their butts off, and there's gonna be no corruption, even though the owner of this daycare was a councilwoman. She has ties to the St. Francis County prosecuting attorney, and although they handed that information over to Jefferson County, there's still some issues, and I was afraid of that in the middle, because if you know anything about corruption in small towns, especially in Missouri, you also know that the coroner is usually right there hand in hand with the officers. Um, there's several cases. My mother was one of them. Um, Charlie Gum, if you're listening, yep, Donna Elliff, yep, that's her. Anyhow, we'll continue on because this is the neighboring town, and I don't want to see Conrad get forgotten. I don't. I can't. I just can't. Okay, so let me jump right on into this. Let's see. As you can see here, I don't know exactly where this picture is taken, but his little tilt of his head, is that not the most cutest thing? Yes, thank you, Nina. Justice for Conrad, for sure, for sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read the original. Guys, this is going to be rough. I'm just going to warn you now. This is going to be rough to hear. Um, I don't really wanna put a trigger warning because I do believe if you follow true crime, you kind of expect to hear stuff. If you are sensitive to child abuse or you have some kind of trigger for you, I would ask you to step away. I mean, there's nothing like gory, but it's bad enough. This baby lost his life, and he deserves his story told. So, please, if you're skittish, walk away now for your own mental health and come back. I completely understand, but please share this out. because apparently the like button is not working today. I don't know if this will even get in the algorithm, but I want to try it anyway. Okay, so let me go ahead and continue. Excuse me. So this is from the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. The deputy commissioner is Kelly Jones. Mandy Yates, if you're listening, I don't know if this is the same one. I'm going to hope not. We're going to continue. This was hand delivered, sent via certified mail to Spring Gray, LLC member and registered agent. She is the owner of the Poppy's Playhouse 2, and I believe the first one too, which is still open. We'll talk about that too. So this was sent to her. Subject: immediate suspension of child care license. Now, like I said, I can go through this whole thing and I can try to skip parts, but in all honesty, this needs to be told. And if this does trigger someone, I'm sorry, because this is a baby that lost his life. A beautiful, innocent child. So, dear Miss Spring Gray, the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education Office of Childhood records indicate that Poppy's Playhouse LLC, a Poppy's Playhouse too. Now I don't know. Hi, Leslie. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, did it let you actually like? Well, maybe the likes will start working. I'm glad. I, everyone was saying they wouldn't work. But this woman owns a couple daycares. One is shut down, one is open. This is the letter that she had received to lose her license for the second one, which, by the way, rumor, people I know, but I have to say allegedly in rumor, this daycare that did this, that's supposed to have lost their license, are calling a summer program in the evening, and they are people are still dropping their children off here. Park Hills. I know daycare's expensive. I know that it's hard at whether you're a single parent or even if you're not. I know it's hard, but think before you drop your babies off, please. If you think that your child couldn't be Conrad, y- you're delusional. I don't mean to be mean. I don't mean to be so forward, but this is serious. Those that are dropping their babies off there, please reconsider, or you know, maybe speak to that Spring Gray and tell her, hey, put some cameras up. I bet she doesn't, but she may. Everything to this point is allegedly, but these documents that I'll show you after this is a daily journal thing. So if it is alleged, then they've put it out too. This letter's to notify Poppy's Playhouse, which is to me a very weird name for a daycare. I think that's kind of creepy. I don't know where that came from unless it was the cartoon, but Poppy's Playhouse to me is a little creepy. Says it is immediately suspending its child care license. It's suspending Poppy's Playhouse LLC, DBA Poppy's Playhouse 2, a license because on May 16th, okay, guys, brace yourself. On May 16th, 2025, group home provider Tiffany Hedrick secluded child A, 3 years old, which is Conrad, to the hallway during nap time because he was crying and whining. Okay, as a grandmother of an autistic child, the crying and whining usually just means, hey, I'm tired. I don't feel good. I want to play. Maybe I need a snack. She didn't take it that way. I'll quit putting my part in. I'll go ahead and read this. Um, 3 years old to the hallway during nap time because he was crying and whining. Hedrick laid child A, which is Conrad, on his stomach and trapped his arms into his tucked blanket, as well as covered child A with an additional 18.2-pound weighted blanket. I will repeat that. An additional 18.2-pound weighted blanket. Hey, Paula, thank you for joining. Haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so he's whining and he's crying. She can't get him to nap. She puts him in a hallway on a cot. She puts an 18.2-pound weighted blanket over him. Mind you, he's 3 years old. And I would say he probably, I don't know for sure, but my guesstimate would be around 21 to 23 pounds. I don't see him weighing anything over that. He's tiny. And for my grandson at that age, he was so tiny because they're active, they're busy all the time, all the time. So she put him in the hallway at nap time because he was crying and whined. Hedrick laid child A on his stomach and trapped his arms into the tucked blanket. Now, mind you, it was a weighted blanket, as well as covered Conrad with an additional 18.2-pound weighted blanket. She held Conrad down and never checked on Conrad again until after she believed he fell asleep. None of the staff at Poppy's Playhouse 2 checked on Conrad until parent A, his mama, arrived approximately 4 hours later. 4 hours later, and found child deceased, which is Conrad. These actions demonstrate a threat of imminent bodily harm to the children in care, and that Poppy's Playhouse LLC is willing or unable to provide safe environment for children. Like I said, you're going to hear my voice shake a lot with this. This could be your child, your grandchild. This could be I mean, anybody. This could be any of our children. Hey, Sleuthy sweetheart. Thank you for joining. I took care of it. See, I took care of it. I fixed it. I'm so glad you could join us. Okay, so it says that it has the authority to create rules and regulations to establish standards of service and care to be rendered to children by licensed child care providers. And I'm not going to go through how all of these pursuant to sections, but it's authorized to immediately suspend a child care license if the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education finds that there is a threat of imminent bodily harm to the children in care. So Poppy's Playhouse 2 was initially licensed as a group child care home on September 1st, 2022. The license allows Poppy's Playhouse LLC and Poppy's Playhouse 2 to care for 20 children ages birth to 12 years from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Well, this one gets even worse, guys. So like I said, if you have a trigger to well, I mean, who doesn't have a trigger to child abuse? But if it's that bad, please step away for your own mental health. It's not getting any better here. May 18th, 2025, OOC received a complaint allegation that on May 16th, Conrad, 3 years old, did not want to take a nap, and the group home provider, Tiffany Hedrick, placed her legs on Conrad's back, on Conrad's back as she put him to sleep and suffocated him. Staff members did not check on Conrad for 4 to 5 hours. Conrad was found deceased at pickup by his mother. Now I'm adding where says parent A. I know this is fact. It was his mother. What do you guys think so far? I'm gonna have to get a drink and take a little pause just to gather myself. You guys give me your thoughts in chat, please. Oh, come on, guys. I know you guys got thoughts. Let them out. I'm curious. And his family very well could be watching. So if we could all put some blue hearts in chat for him, um, if his parents, if his aunts, uncles, family see this, we support you 100%. Anything we can do to help, we absolutely will. Conrad mattered. He mattered then, he matters today. He's always going to matter. And that's where the Uvalde Foundation is going to come in. And we're going to talk about that too, because they're helping this family. Amazing foundation. I definitely want to give them a shout out. Okay, so Paula says, I think she should be charged with murder. Absolutely. I do too. Hi, Brutally. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, absolutely. But as in every small town, you all know how it goes. And you know the rumor mill. But you should see how this owner has spoken to family and talked about the mom. It's disgusting. It's beyond disgusting. It's if she for one person to have been a councilwoman, to have worked for a prosecuting attorney's office, I mean, it's unreal. But I'm going to show all of this. It needs to be seen, and I want you guys, if there's any bigger creators out there that are willing to take this on, take it, take this and run. Just please do it with respect. This family has been through just pure hell, and I beg you, any other creators that hear this, if you want to take this case on or even show Conrad's face, please do. Keep it out there because in these small towns, and I know these little counties, if we let this go silent, he won't get us justice. He just won't. Now, I'm not saying that every officer's bad because obviously I back the blue. But at the same time, I can only back the blue so far. I'm trying so hard to not put a conspiracy thing or a guess or even what I think may happen. I'm just reading what's factual, and this is a factual document. And then we're going to go over the daily journal, which is more factual information. And then I'll show you the post with the rumors and the how the family got treated, and I'll let you guys decide. But if any of you know any of the larger creators, Arctic, maybe even Duchess, I think Duchess, Nicole, I think you guys would rock it too. Any of the creators with some compassion, I would just be honored to give you everything I know about this. I mean, anything that you need, I will pretty much just hand this stuff to you if you will cover it because Conrad deserves justice. And I'll quit rambling and move on here. Thank you for the hearts, guys. And if the family is watching, I'm sure they're so appreciative of this. Okay, so Compliance Inspection Supervisor Melissa Smith interviewed member Spring Gray, owner of the daycares. Gray provided the following information. And here we go. Child A went down for a nap. Group home provider Tiffany Hedrick was rubbing his back and had her legs draped across him. Mind you, he's 22 pounds. Around 4:20 to 4:30 p.m., a staff, she's not sure who, ran over to Poppy's Playhouse, etc., which is ETC, a separate licensed facility located next door to Poppy's Playhouse 2, where she, Spring Gray, was and said they had an emergency. She ran over, started chest compressions, and started the AED machine. She then had someone call 911, but she wasn't sure who called. Hedrick was already gone from the facility by this time. So, Hedrick was the daycare worker, and Spring Gray is the owner. So, Hedrick actually left her shift. I don't know if you guys have ever worked in daycare. I haven't. If any of you have, does it work that way? Like, do they give each other report on how the children were that day, or do they just walk in, clock out, whatever? I mean, I'm not sure how that works. So, if you guys know how that works, please let me know. She's not sure what time Hedrick left the facility. So apparently, Mrs. Hedrick didn't even check on any of those babies before she left. Now, mind you, Conrad had been laying there for I think it said 4 hours, several hours at least. So you put a baby down, you do all of that, you don't check on him. Hmm. And I know that it's rumored that she had said that the parent said that when he's down for a nap, don't wake him up because he gets crabby. They didn't mean just let him sleep, and if he would pass away, just leave him there. I can't imagine how that's anybody's logic. I know I hate to put it that way, but I mean, I can't think of anything in a good way to do it. Absolutely negligence. At least negligence. Just the idea that she didn't check on this baby for 4 hours is negligence alone. And there's no arrest. That's why I'm having such a fit and I'm so shook up. It's been over 30 days. I believe it's like 37, 38 days now and no arrest at all. Now, I'm not saying that law enforcement isn't doing their job. I'm not saying that they're not building one hell of a case. I'm not saying that because I don't know. All I'm telling you is from an outsider looking in, I expect more. I want more from this, whether it's Jefferson County, St. Francis County, it doesn't matter. Why has there been no arrest? Oh, you can't hear me? Um, is that better, Paula? Can you guys hear me? Paula can't hear me. Did my mic mess up? Please let me know. Paula, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for joining, Jamie. I'm so glad to see you here. Okay. Sorry, guys. I never know if it's me or if because YouTube's been crazy today. But anyway, my whole thing in this is there hasn't been an arrest. And it's been 37, 38 days. And I know that's going to take time to get a good case. But you know what? Negligence is negligence. There's no way they're gonna tell me that there's no reason to at least charge one with negligence. I don't understand, but I'll keep reading this because, like I said, I will go back and forth. It's man, this just hits home. Not only is this a neighboring community, it's like, wow, you how many people send their kids there? And if they're still sending these babies there, I mean, I guess us as the public can do nothing about that. It's a parent's choice. But I don't even know why she has either one of them open. You know, if she lost her license on this one, why does she deserve to have the other one? Paula says, when did it become okay to hold a child down to force them to sleep? Well, other parents that have dropped their kids off at the same daycare have decided to pull their kids out before because they would see that they would restrain children to chairs to feed them. Like it wasn't like they were eating, they would just restrain them in chairs, but not quote, and this is in quotes, and this is allegedly, but this is a recorded call that one of the parents just felt the need to record this conversation and ask them why they were laying their legs on these babies and restraining them. And allegedly, they said it's not all the kids, not the normal kids, just those kind of kids. That alone is enough to blow a top for me. What do you mean normal? Are you telling me autistic children aren't normal children? They're I'm gonna need her to explain to me, like, face to face. Today would be nice. Anyway, so around 4:20, 4:30, a staff, she's not sure, ran over to Poppy's Playhouse, the other facility where she Gray was at, and she said they had an emergency. She ran over, started chest compressions, got the AED machine. She then had someone call 911, but she wasn't sure who it was. Hedrick was already gone from the facility by this time. She's not sure what time Hedrick left the facility. They don't clock in and out? I'm sure she would know. Exactly, Arctic, exactly. Might as well take it to her. She's opening a daycare. Wow, okay. I just don't get it. I don't know. Unless those people are in power too. Unless those people, I'm not even going to get into it. She does not know what time the children went down for a nap and is not sure if anyone checked on Child A. Now, this is the owner. She does not know what time the children went down for a nap, and she has no idea if anyone has checked on Conrad. All right, then. But one of her staff, Caitlin Todd or Reagan Duncan, told her that parent A told them to never wake up child from a nap because child A gets cranky. Okay, I understand that because they are active all the time. And when they lay down, they usually just fall out to go to sleep because they are so active. But for them to even say that, that is ridiculous. Never one time has a mother said, "Well, if my kid goes to sleep for 4 hours, don't wake him." I can check on my kids without waking them. I'm pretty sure you guys can too. So that is complete lies to me. That is excuses. I don't care if the mom said don't wake him up because he gets cranky. You're still supposed to check on him. And if you know for a fact that your facility is laying your legs over babies with weighted blankets, I'm pretty sure you might want to make that priority to check on those kids. Yeah, exactly. And I'm hoping that's one of the charges. I do. I really hope that one of those charges is abuse against a child with a disability. Even though I don't know that this is a disability, I'm not sure how bad the autism is with Conrad, but I can tell you for a grown ass woman to put an 18-pound blanket on a 20 to 22-pound baby and her legs because he wouldn't nap. Mm-mm. No. Come try that crap with me. Somebody your own size. One of her staff, oh, I just read that. Child A is Conrad. Conrad also laid his head down at lunch, but that was not like him. Okay. Someone else told her that Conrad had diarrhea that morning twice within 5 minutes of each other. Well, I mean, okay, he had diarrhea that morning. Every more reason to check on him. Hi, Barb. Thank you. I'm glad you could join. It's okay. Um, the fact that he had diarrhea that day twice in 5 minutes and put his head down, don't you think that's every more reason to check on him? But no, let's not wake him because mom said no. I'm not buying it. See that right there? It's just not making sense to me. The facility's practice is for staff to cuddle children who are having a hard time falling asleep. If that's cuddling, hell no, I'll pass. But she does not know if staff put their legs over children regularly. Well, now hold on, Miss Gray, because the recorded conversation with the parent, you told the parent, and I have my quote fingers up. We don't do this to all the kids, not the normal kids, just this kind, and even pointed at an autistic child and gave that other parent that autistic child's name. That alone is not okay. Just not okay. And you know what? It gets worse. It gets worse. So on May 19th, compliance inspector Jessica Graham observed a video interview of group home provider Tiffany Hedrick conducted on May 16th by law enforcement. Graham observed Hedrick discussing the following. Hedrick reenacted the incident with Conrad. Mm. Conrad was being difficult at night at nap time by crying and whining, as every 3-year-old child does. Hedrick first laid Conrad on his back and tucked the sides of his personal blanket under his body. Now I'm guessing, so then he had two blankets. I'm not sure. When she says his personal blanket, I wonder, did he bring a blanket to daycare or do they just have one there for him? And if is that personal blanket the weighted one? Trapping his arms, but child A kept moving, so Hedrick turned him over onto his stomach. This is sick. So when that didn't work, that she had his arms down, tucked in a blanket, held him down, that didn't work. So she's going to flip him over now, where he's face down, and see if that'll work, right? If he just, Paula says, if he just laid his head down and went to sleep, why was there? Well, no, he didn't. He just felt tired. Like they were explaining that, like he had diarrhea with it 2 times within 5 minutes. And at lunch, he kind of put his head down on the table a little bit. But then come nap time is when he didn't want to take a nap. Exactly, Arctic. An 18-pound blanket along on a child that small is a recipe for disaster. Yeah, can you imagine? So say you weigh 100 pounds and someone comes in with an 85-pound weighted blanket and puts that on top of you and then their legs on top of that. I mean, that's no, no. The blanket, okay, here we go. This explains it. See, I kind of waited to read all of this because I wanted to read it with you. But let me go back and see what you guys are saying in chat because I can't see you while I'm reading that. Um, Paula says, I agree, Arctic. That was almost as much as he weighed. Yes, yes, absolutely. Um, guys, chat it up. Let me know how you feel so far. I want you guys to feel included in this because oh my goodness, it gets so much worse. And I'm what would you do if this were your child? First, let's start with that because I can tell you, Conrad's mom has even asked that no one protest. Now, this has been in the beginning, but she said nobody aggravate this lady, nobody bothered the daycare, nobody protest outside of it. Let's do this right, and that shows me that they have a lot of respect. They do. They have a lot of respect even for law enforcement. They didn't want this to be about anything but Conrad. So I respect them so much for that. But now that the the Uvalde, did I say that right, Arctic? Uvalde. I always mess it up, and I'm so sorry if you're listening. I will get this right. But they now that they're involved, there will be a protest, and I have all the information about that. But it's going to be peaceful. It's nothing like you see on TV. This is just a wonderful foundation that will fight for every child, and I'm in awe with it. I mean, really, even they actually messaged me their commercial for what you will see for Conrad's Law, and they're going to let me play it today. They sent a little message about what they were doing with the protest, and I can read that today. So from and you know me, like I'm a nobody. So for them to do that and send that to me, their heart's in it for Conrad for sure, and I think they'll fight for any child. So that's definitely a foundation we need on our child's side for sure. All right. I had to take a little break there. I was getting a little choked up. And I feel so okay. Yeah. Uvalde. Uvalde. Okay. Thank you, Arctic. You guys know I'm not great with words, but I sure try. Okay, we'll go back over here and I'll finish this. Okay, so she laid Conrad on his back, tucked the sides of his personal blanket under his body, trapping his arms, but Conrad kept moving, so she turned him over onto his stomach, trapping his arms, but Conrad kept moving. So Hedrick turned child A, Conrad, over onto his stomach. She then again tucked the blanket under Conrad's body, trapping his arms under the blanket. She covered Conrad's body as well as over half of his face with an 18.2-pound weighted blanket. Where are the arrests? Where is the arrest? That's negligence alone. That's child abuse. No, he was nonverbal autistic, Paula. So he couldn't even scream for help. And that's why I'm all kinds of, I mean, I'm sure you can tell my voice. Like, this is so hard, but needs to be done. Like, his story needs told. And if I have to go live every day and tell a story, I'll do it. I mean, I, I just, we can't let it go. We just can't. Yeah, it's so sad, Paula, to think that he couldn't even yell for help, but he was whiny. So, nope, I'm not buying it. I'm just, nope. So the blanket did not belong to Conrad, but instead was a blanket that belonged to the facility. Hedrick secluded Conrad to the hallway and held Conrad down by placing her legs over his legs. Okay, so what we're seeing here is that, in my opinion, she knew what she had done. She put him in the hallway on a cot, covered him with this blanket, and what, in my opinion only, this is allegedly, I could be completely wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And Tiffany, if you're listening, come on up here with me and explain. If you hear me and I'm wrong, correct me. Don't do it on Facebook. Don't do it like that. Come up here woman to woman if you're listening, and I hope you are. Come up here and explain, and I will be completely respectful and I will listen to you 100%. But you also have to agree to listen to me. The hallway had been Conrad's typical napping spot for the past month. Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she didn't put him in the hallway so nobody could see. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But to me, this is looking like she knew what she had done. Yeah, Arctic, anytime, anytime. I was going to ask you if you wanted to dual stream today, but I didn't know if you were busy. But if you want to go over this, and I'll join you on panel. I just need this out there. I need his story out there to anyone and everyone in a respectful creator. You don't have to like me. I don't have to like you. But if you have a big platform and you're willing to help this baby, help him. If you need information, I'll get it. I mean, I'll hand the case to you if you guys will go over it for sure. Jamie says they had one that was 22 pounds, but threw it away when the others got thrown out. I did see something about that. I'm not positive where all that came from, Jamie. But yeah, I did see something about that. And like I said, this right here is a document, so I know this is truth. When we start getting into the Facebook stuff, it could be rumor. It's all allegedly, but this is, I mean, I'll show you. This is the document right here. The Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So I know this is factual. But Jamie, whenever we start getting into the Facebook stuff, I mean, feel free, throw it in chat, and then I'll give you an opportunity. If anybody wants to come up, you can. Tiffany, if you're listening, I would love for you to come up here. I don't know that you can. I mean, you're probably under investigation, but if I'm wrong, please explain because a lot of people would like to know why that's okay and why you felt that was okay. But I'll continue. Okay. On May 19th, Graham observed as an in-person interview of Conrad's parent conducted by law enforcement. Graham observed parents discussing the following. Parent A was the one who found Conrad. So it's Conrad's mom. Yeah, it might have been an article. I couldn't find that, but yeah, I did see that, Jamie. I really did. It says when Conrad's mom arrived to pick him up, he was now, guys. Like I said, here's your trigger warning because it gets bad. But this is what this mom's dealing with, and I'm not just going to cut this part out because every time someone says, "Well, I haven't heard from the mom," where's the mom? You deal with what I'm about to read, and you tell me why she's quiet. I mean, really, and the dad and family. I mean, this is horrible. Horrible. This is beyond grief. This is nightmare. Okay, so when Conrad's mom picked him up, he was stiff, cold, and his legs were purple. Like I said, this is bad. Staff still didn't call 911 at this point. Let me reread this. Conrad's mom was the one who found him. When Conrad's mom arrived to pick him up, he was stiff, cold, and his legs were purple. Staff still didn't make the 911 call at this point, but ran right next door to get Spring before calling 911. Why the hell did you run to get the owner and not call 911? And don't come at me with no frozen shock face bullshit because I am not dealing with that. I'm not here no more of that. Parent A never gave permission to use a weighted blanket, nor did she provide a weighted blanket to be used on Conrad. Well, I guess not. I mean, wow, he was only 3. On May 19, CJ Graham listened to an audio interview of caregiver Reagan Duncan conducted on the 16th by law enforcement. Graham heard Duncan discussing the following. Duncan never checked on Conrad on the afternoon of May 16th. Conrad and his cot were in the hallway across from the bathroom. Duncan walked over to wake up child A, when parent arrived and noticed that his legs looked weird, like bruised. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Conrad's mom removed the blanket from Conrad. The blanket was up over the back of Conrad's head. Again, where is the arrests? Where what are we waiting on now? We have negligence. It's right here in this. I mean, they've discussed it. They've talked about it. Where ugh, on May 19th, Graham listened to an audio interview of caregiver Caitlin Todd conducted on May 16th, 2025 by law enforcement. Graham heard Todd discussing the following. Todd arrived at the facility at 2 p.m. and saw Conrad in the hallway, thinking he was asleep, but she never checked on Conrad. When Todd arrived, Conrad had a weighted blanket over his body and over half of his face. Duncan had told her that Conrad, a cranky little boy, if woken up, they should wait and let the parents wake him when she arrived. See, Jamie says because they knew he was gone as soon as he stopped wiggling and tried to cover it up as using the blanket. I think you're right. I think that once this was done, she realized what happened and she got the hell out of there and left it for the next worker to come in and and then for Conrad's parents. That's cold. That is a mm. Hedrick was with Conrad at nap. Nap time starts at 12:30 p.m. Nap time starts at 12:30 p.m. His mother found him at 4:30. So he lay there for 4 hours and she had to find him in rigor mortis, purple. This baby, her whole world, her heart and soul in the hands of a daycare like this. And Jamie says, and she has children of her own. Well, oh, yes, Dinky, it is. Thank you so much for joining, Dinky. I'm so happy to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing better. So, CJ Graham listened to an audio interview of caregiver, I guess that's Kaya Lyons, conducted on May 19th. Hedrick was with Conrad at the nap. Oh, I just read that. I'm sorry. Nap time was at 12:30. Lyons left work at 2 o'clock and had not checked on Conrad before leaving. Based on the facts above, OOC determined that Poppy's Playhouse and Poppy's Playhouse 2 violated the following licensing rules. And of course, we're going to get the whole, all of this childcare personnel should be good at, good choice of character, blah blah blah. But let's move on because all of this stuff that they're putting on here, I've seen no arrest. Nothing. I would like to know, how do you do this? How do you go 37, 38 days with nothing? Now, there is a little confusion because this happened in St. Francis County. The owner being a councilwoman, we automatically everyone even in the surrounding counties where I am knew immediately, oh no, no, she's she's got a little bit of power. That's got to go. We've got to do something because we see this so much. We do. Well, she is no longer, she resigned. They didn't fire her. She resigned. They ended up not having a public board meeting. the second night because she decided to resign. She shouldn't have a right to resign. Resigning means that you can go and you can be elected for office. I think that's unacceptable. I don't think she should have resigned. I think they should have pushed her ass out and kept her out, or she can't come back. I mean, yeah, exactly, Paula. 3-year-olds don't take a 4-hour nap. I know for a fact, not autistic ones, because my grandson, good luck. He's down for 20 minutes. It's a power nap. He's ready to go again. I mean, it's crazy. It's heartbreaking. So many of these children, and there's still people dropping their kids off there for summer program. What? No, not mine. So this right here says that, they had 10 days to hold a hearing regarding the immediate suspension of the license. Well, she did lose the license for that, for one, but she still has another one open. So I'll get this off here. And let me go ahead and play this little thing as I'm talking. Well, yeah, here we go. That's the owner there with the red hair. Um, it's crazy. It's like what would you do if this were your child? And I mean the legal way. I know we all want to say, I'd go take care of it on my own, blah, blah, blah. But, in all reality, we know if you have other children, you can't just do that. And two wrongs don't make a right, even though you feel like it would. So you can see here in this little video, this is the visual, and that's outside the daycare. Because the mom says, hey, have the visual there and let them see what they've done to him. And I loved that idea, even though that had to just completely tear her apart, the mom and the dad, but they chose to do that, and I have so much respect for them. I really, really do. Um, this I don't know, I always mess that up. There we go. Now this background here that you see, this is actually on Conrad's Facebook page. I had her name written down. I will go over his page a little bit because I do. If you guys are interested in following the page, please do. They give updates as much as they can. They're grieving, like they're just grieving. They don't know what to do. They're just trying. They're just trying to take another breath. And the mom, she's really just trying to be there for her other children. So I don't know that she's had time really to grieve. And as a parent that knows grief, I will keep her in my prayers and I hope that you guys will too. Jamie says they acted out what happened to the detective and admitted they used those techniques on top of several violations. Right. So why, like, do we know why the second daycare is still open? I mean, she owns them. Is it a director? They each have a different director? I would love to know that. Hopefully someone in that community. I know there's more than just you, Jamie, that's listening that's from that community, but guys, if you are listening and you're in the bushes, come in here and chat. It's a safe place. I mean, really, give me your thoughts. I could very well be wrong about this, and if I am, please explain to me how. And we'll talk about it. But as far as I'm seeing, I mean, this is gone. Oh, mm-mm. Okay. So instead of me rambling and going on and on, let me just go ahead and mute myself just for a second so I can get a drink, and then I'll read this other thing from the local newspaper. All right. Hope we have Charlotte. Thank you for joining, Charlotte. There definitely needs to be an arrest. Yes, absolutely. Let me bring this up here. Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. Hey, Mikey, thank you for joining. If there's anyone in that community, like I said, that you guys are just listening and you don't feel like it's a safe place to chat, come in here and chat with me. I mean, I have questions too, and I feel like even being a neighboring county to this, it affects everyone. This is heartbreaking for everyone, whether it was your baby or not. It's sad, super super sad. Okay, Mikey. You at work, Mikey? All right, so the next thing I'm gonna show you, well, I could go down to the U Uval Uvalde. Sorry if I say that wrong. I am really trying with this. Uvalde. I'm gonna show you their message. Let's see. Alright. Okay. So what I'm gonna show you is their message from I guess he may be the founder, but I do know he is with the Uvalde Foundation, and he did say I could use his commercial that when it goes on TV, that you won't see, like, all the little, watermarks on there, but he just kinda, "Oh, well, good, you stay cool. I know it's gotta be super hot, it's like 100 degrees here." But this foundation is amazing. I mean, this is the foundation that will come in and help with, like, school shootings, stuff like that. They do protest, they do, like, a fasting protest thing, they fight for children. They do. Charlotte says, "I drive by that daycare that isn't closed. It needs closed. I sat in the funeral traffic and just cried my eyes out. And I don't know that family, but my heart hurts for them." Same with me. I don't know the family either. I don't. I have no idea who they are and they don't know who I am. And they don't have to. Because when an innocent baby loses their life, it's everyone's problem. This is a loss to everyone. It is. It's a heartbreaking loss. And it can't just be swept under the rug. And I'm seeing patterns over and over. And I don't wanna, like I said, I don't wanna say this is corruption. I don't wanna say that. I wanna think that they are doing their job. Because if anybody knows me, y'all don't know me, but if you do, some of you do, I will back the bloom in most everything. But I need some confirmation here that because she was a councilwoman and worked for the prosecuting attorney's office at one point, I need some kind of confirmation that this isn't, because it's looking that way, and I will show you why in just a minute. Well, actually, let me just go ahead and show you why now, because 'cause you'll understand why that I'm just so pissed today. I mean, I'm just pissed at this. Oh, I've lost my spot. I'll have to go back and look. I'm sorry, guys. But, so the gist of this is the aunt went to, if I can find that real quick, let me find it. But most of it is the aunt went over there to get the memorial stuff, like I was just saying, that was at the daycare. So the aunt goes over there to pick it up because she gets a message saying, "Hey, you know what? They want all of Conrad's memorial stuff off this corner. She wants it all off here." Well, they have to obey. Yep, Dinky, I agree. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Maybe. I mean, I'm with you with this. Um, but what it is, like I said, Conrad's aunt got a message saying, "Hey, she don't want this memorial at the daycare anymore. Come and get the stuff." Which we did have some really bad storms. We had some tornadoes in the area. So I guess, they're like, "Okay, they don't want it there. We're going to pick it up." She no sooner gets back home and she gets a message from someone saying, "Hey, you forgot something and she wants it off there." Okay, so the aunt goes back to get the rest of whatever she forgot out of respect, trying to keep peace. She gets there, and guess who is there to see her? Spring Gray, the owner. And I got to find that post for you so I can get that part right, because I want to make sure that I'm right on what she says and what the aunt says. I just had this on here. While I'm on this page, though, let me share this. Well, maybe if it'll let me. Oh, come on. Okay. Let me come back over here and share this. If you would like to follow Conrad's page, please do. It's just a Facebook group, but they could use all the support that they can get, honestly. I couldn't imagine this mama. I just can't. But what I'm doing is I'm kind of looking over here. I'm not really showing my screen because I'm on Facebook and I don't want to show a lot of people's stuff. So that's what I'm doing right at this minute. But let me play this again so you guys can see Conrad's face as I'm searching for what I'm looking for. Okay, guys, I've almost found it. I don't really want to just like show things that I shouldn't, that people don't want shown on here, but you know, It's public, I know, but I don't want to, like, push something that's a private thing. But I do wanna go over Conrad's law with you too, so don't let me forget, guys. I'm everywhere, I'm squirreling today because this is just so heartbreaking. It is, it's unreal, unreal. Let's see. Oh, is that it? Maybe. Shit. Well, guys, I am trying. What I'm looking for is whenever she got there and Spring was there, she had actually called Conrad's mom a little bitch and said that the autopsy report was back and that the mom had given him too much medication and it was on her. I could not believe that. And that's why I want to find that so I can show you guys because what? If that were the case, and let me play devil's advocate for just a moment. If that were the case and say it was a medicine thing and it was an accident, okay, but it would have happened as soon as he got there because mama dropped him off. So what are how are they going to do that? And let's talk about the most important part about this. How the heck would she know what the results of toxicology or the autopsy results were when the family hasn't even received them? How would she know that? If in fact the autopsy comes back that it was like a medicine deal or whatever, then Spring Gray, that right there shows me corruption. That's abuse of power. So the aunt asked her where she got this information, and she says Dudley, which is the St. Francis County prosecuting attorney that she worked for years. And I don't know if she worked for him, but she worked for the prosecuting attorney at some point, allegedly. So if that were true, you're telling me that she would get the results before family? That has a huge corruption symbol on it. I mean, let's be real. But now the aunt did. She did. She went and emailed him. She emailed Dudley and it's like, "Hey, what's up?" Well, how would she know this stuff? We don't even know this stuff. I'm still looking, guys. There's so much because they're just trying so hard. I just had this. Ugh. But anyway, yeah. So if in fact that autopsy comes back and it says something in toxicology with medicine, I believe if the mother would have done that, it would have been accident, and if that's the case, he would have passed earlier in the day. So whatever kind of line of crap she's trying to pull over on this family, is that really how you act toward family of a deceased child in your care facility? Charlotte says, I will say Deloge, Park Hills, Farmington, and many more stand with this family. The funeral was filled with so many people. It was amazing. It was. There are so many justice for Conrad painted on cars. Everywhere. And it's good to see, but at the same time, I don't understand where she got that information of autopsy report. Even her son talking to the family like, "Oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. It's not my mom's fault. You wait until toxicology comes back and his mom can go to prison." Who the hell says that? And honestly, Spring, your son is a teenager and what? He fights your battles? So you guys only what? You only battle with 3-year-olds? What's up with that? I'm sorry, I have questions. And if you're listening, please join me. Come up here, let's talk about it. Because these people need answers. And I just can't let this go hush hush. I can't do it. This is a 3-year-old's life lost at the hands of someone else. I can't. I can't do that. I just had that whole conversation and now I cannot find it. Ugh. But that was the I'm gonna keep looking, but the most of it, like I said, what it is, the whole thing is really, is that she's saying that, the autopsy's back and everybody's gonna be really surprised because it's a medical deal, it's toxicology, that it was nothing to do with that facility. Well, okay, Spring, and if that's true, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate, if that's true, I'd like to know why the hell you got that information instead of the family first. And second, if this is transferred from St. Francis County to Jefferson County, why the hell would Jefferson County give you any information? You shouldn't have any kind of personal information about him. None. What you should have is a court date to say what how you feel or what you think happened, but you should not have results. And to talk about his parent like that, to call Conrad's mom a bitch, are you serious? Are we in high school? Because I can remember high school and all that little petty shit, but come on, are we who are we trying to fool here? So the aunt did message the prosecuting attorney Dudley for San Francisco County, and she asked him plainly, "Is the autopsy back? Is toxicology back? And how would Spring Gray know anything about Conrad's case?" And he sends her back. He has not spoken to Spring. He has nothing to do with this case. It's not a San Francisco County case. They transferred it to Jefferson County, and that he has zero to do with this. And you know what? I hope that is 100% true. I do. I absolutely do. For Conrad, I hope. I really hope. Brutally says, "Could the caretaker have given him some medicine and thought it wouldn't show? Then they could blame mom?" I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure. But I can tell you this. The fact that they didn't check on him from 12:30 to 4:30 alone is negligence. It just is. And if his toxicology comes back that there's medication, they better be able to prove that that medication came through that morning, and I wanna know why, if it did, why it was later in the day that they noticed any kind of difference in him, because that goes against what they're saying. Okay, Arctic, let me check. Tell me what you think, guys. I mean, just say how you feel. This is not one of those we're gonna be, all iffy and watch our words. I mean, I'm not doing it. This is a child that lost his life. I'm not doing it. I'm not holding my words today. Okay, let's see. Arctic may have found my post for me. There it is. Awesome. Thank you, Arctic. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me get back over here. Okay. Okay, here it is. After get that off there. Okay, it says after can you guys see that? Make sure you I think I still have my other thing up. Let me remove this first. Oh, I think you can see it. Okay. Good deal, good deal. Now you can't. Oh my goodness, I'm everywhere today. All right, we'll try it again. Okay, here it is. So it says, after taking the memorial stuff down, I was informed that there was something left up at the daycare from the memorial that I didn't get. So I went down there to see what it was and to pick it up. I had my daughter get out and grab it, and Spring proceeds to come out of the building, informing us that she just bought that with her money and put it back. Addison put it back, and then Spring decided she was going to have a conversation with me. She said that she never said anything about the memorial having to be down, and that Tara, Conrad's mom, was a little bitch, and that she gave Conrad too much medication, and that's how he died. And if that is true about Tiffany smothering him, that she should be in prison. That we requested a private autopsy. I really hope the family did. I did say to family, "Hey, Nina, yes, Stinky, it's terrible. It is. It is horrible." So forgot where I was at. I'm squirreling today. She said that she never said anything about the memorial having to be taken down, that Tara, Conrad's mom, was a little bitch, and that she gave Conrad too much medicine, and that's how he died. And if it is true about Tiffany smothering him, that she should be in prison, and that we requested a private autopsy. I did give the first day that I heard about this, I did advise the family to get a private autopsy. I don't know if they did. I told them they definitely need to get an independent autopsy. Um, I know for a fact that's very important. I wish I would have done that with my mother. I did not. Um, so they requested the private autopsy, and also that she had been informed by Blake Dudley, that's St. Francis County prosecuting attorney Blake Dudley himself, that a toxicology report as well as the autopsy report has came back, and that he informed her of the results of those reports. If that's true, if what we just saw we're seeing here is true, that right there is corruption. That is a San Francisco County prosecutor giving information to someone that used to work for him and used to be a councilwoman, just right. Well, when this happened, she was a councilwoman. And why the hell would he have any information on what Jefferson County should have taken care of? If that is true, there's your proof of corruption right there. I spoke with the receptionist at Blake Dudley's office, and she informed me that no such documents would even go through that office. I hope not. I really, really hope not. Because it's a conflict of interest, and the Jefferson County prosecutor has taken over the case, like we all now know. She said that he would not say anything to Spring about the reports. I asked to speak with him personally, but she informed me that he was unavailable at the moment. Well, we all know how that works, don't we, Barbara Hall? Yep, he's not available. He's just not available today. But she would give him my number to call me back. Still waiting on that phone call. And you will. And just to make things clear, we have not received any information regarding the autopsy report or anything. So she is either making all this up to spread rumors to make herself look better, or if Blake Dudley is giving her information, then there is some serious prosecutorial misconduct going on. Absolutely. But if you go through here, she does show, it may not be in this one, it's in another, but she does show the emails. So if you guys want to see those, you can check that out on their Facebook page. They also have a Conrad's Law, and I wanted to show you that too. The latest developments, I can go ahead and read that, but it's kind of the same thing that I was saying earlier, because they're just kind of going over the fact that, what's going on and the updates, which really there isn't any. I mean, there isn't much of an update at all. I wish there were more, but this is the Daily Journal, and this is the local newspaper, and it just lets them know that on June 16th, the Missouri Supreme Court authorized the temporary transfer of the Honorable Joseph A. Rathert to the official court reporter from the 23rd Judicial Court in Jefferson County to the 24th Judicial Court in St. Francis County. Judge Rathert will now preside over the wrongful death suit filed by Conrad Ashcraft's mother, Tara Williams, at Poppy's Playhouse, and the dad also has his own against them, which they should. Absolutely should. Do they want money? No, they want justice. But, for some reason, you want to rattle some chains, you start digging in their pocketbooks. It seems to get their attention. It's sad. It's a sad reality. It just is. And they talk about how the death investigation continues. The license status, one's open, one is closed. It's, I mean, that's it. That's how far we've come in like 37, 38 days, which is heartbreaking alone. I mean, really, really it is. I do want to show you now this Uvalde Foundation. Now, this is the foundation that I was telling you about earlier. I don't know if I can share. I might be able to share this. I hope I can. Yeah, I think I can. Okay. I don't know. I might be able to make it a little bit bigger. Nope, not going to let me. Okay. So, up here, there's the law. If I can click on that, it might bring it up. Okay. Let me know if there's sound. I usually struggle with sound when I play anything on here. I'm not sure why. So please let me know how the sound is, and I'll mute first before I play it.
Wish is sometimes a parent's greatest wish is simply to know their child is safe and cared for. What if every daycare could offer not just care, but true peace of mind? Conrad's Law was born from heartbreak, the memory of little Conrad Ashcraft, whose life was lost far too soon. For families in Missouri, this law could mean no parent has to face that pain again. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids is leading the way, turning grief into action and hope. They're calling for every licensed daycare in Missouri to install video and audio monitoring, so no child's voice goes unheard and no moment is missed. For parents, that means more transparency and a little less worry in their hearts. For children, it means a safer, more loving environment to grow and learn. But Conrad's Law is about more than just cameras and screens. It's about raising the standard for every caregiver. with better training and deeper understanding, especially for those caring for neurodivergent and special needs children. Because every child deserves a caregiver who truly sees them, who understands their fears, their hopes, and their strengths. Thousands have already spoken up, signing a petition to support Conrad's law, hoping for a safer tomorrow. Parents, teachers, and advocates are sending a message that cannot be ignored. Missouri's children deserve better. They deserve safety, and they deserve hope. Imagine being able to check in on your child, even from far away, knowing that someone is always looking out for them, and that every caregiver is prepared to support every child, no matter their needs. For families with neurodivergent children, this law is more than policy. It's a promise of hope and a little more peace of mind. If you believe every child deserves to feel safe and included, learn more about Conrad's law and consider adding your name to the petition for change. Together, we can honor Conrad's memory and make Missouri's daycares places of safety, love, and hope for every child. To learn more, visit the Uvalde Foundation for Kids and join the movement for change. Conrad's Law, justice for Conrad and hope for every Missouri child.
That was so good. And whenever you see that on the TV, you won't see the story blocks and stuff. I saw people talking about that, and they were saying that of course it won't have that whenever it's out, but I do have the link in chat. I don't know if it's still in there, but guys, it's so important that you sign this petition. I mean, it's just as important, like even with Timmy D's, please both just sign those. We've we've got to do something. I mean, we are trusting strangers with our children. It's bad enough to send them to school. I mean, I worry. Hi, Al. Did I might have missed you, or I'm saying hi twice, but hey, Al. Um, it's this is just so heartbreaking to think that a typical normal day. Thank you, brutally. I'm glad you'll be listening. Drive safe. Um, this is just heartbreaking. I don't even know how I feel about it. It's if what she's saying, spring, and if she said that with confidence, that really bothers me because knowing how some of these small towns, if you got a name or you got money or your family's in law enforcement or whatever, there's a good chance that, there it's terrible. And I don't really know how to solve that. We as a community can stand, but we need more than that. We are all small towns in our area. So we have to take this farther than our little small town communities. We really do. This Uvalde Foundation, the owner, the one that messaged me is Daniel. It's either Chapin or Chapin. I'm gonna think it's Chapin. Super super nice. These people have been super nice. They gave me this information to use on my live today. They didn't have to, but they did. And it says, if you guys are interested in a protest, which I know half of you are not in there, but just in case some of you listening are in the area or near the area, I'm probably an hour, but even in an hour, I mean, I may go to this, and I'm not a real big protester. Hopefully, it's not a big sunny day. We all know I can't be in direct sun, but I mean, this has to stop. And if this can help other children, this is the way to go. But what they sent me was the Uvalde Foundation for Kids is a charity foundation. It's a 501c3. It's a national nonprofit. Says hundreds are expected from Missouri, Indiana, and as far as Texas, the 23rd at 7 p.m. Jamie says, check your inbox. Okay. Um, but this protest, first I want to say before you do this, the family has spoke out against a protest. And the reason is because they want justice. And we all know in these small towns, you just don't want to piss off the people that you want to help you. But oh, thank you, Jamie. Yes. So the aunt that I was telling you a while ago, he sent me that he or she. I'm sorry. I Jamie, are you? I don't want to say male or female, but I. So Jamie Johnson here in chat sent these to me, and I'm going to read this to you. Now, this is from the aunt that I was just reading from. It says apparently Spring has an issue with Conrad's memorial stuff. I read all that. Let's see, the whole community. I mean, if you go through half of these, um, so much, so much. Yeah, I just read those. I kind of Jamie, I don't want to go through and like show this because it's got a lot of like people. I know it's a public platform, but I really don't like to show names if I don't have to. But this Uvalde Foundation is a national nonprofit. It says hundreds are expected from Missouri, Indiana, and as far as Texas, June 23rd at 7 p.m. to protest at the daycare where 3-year-old nonverbal autistic Conrad Ashcraft died at Poppy's Playhouse in Park Hills, Missouri. A 3-day hunger fast to bring further attention to the case was launched by several students from the Uvalde Foundation for Kids in Texas Tuesday, escalating the charity group's calls for immediate prosecution in the case and for the closure of all Poppy's Playhouse facilities. Absolutely. I'm female. Okay. Yeah, see, that's how I am too. I don't know the family, but if I have to have a live on Conrad every day, if I have to whatever I have to do, I wanna help this family. There's so many families that don't get justice because, I mean, small towns. My mom didn't get her justice. Nobody cared about that, you know? She was just an older, poor lady. Who cared, right? I did. And I have to help them. So, again, this Uvalde, this charity group calls for the immediate prosecution in the case for the closure of all Poppy's Playhouse facilities. In an updated release Tuesday evening, the Uvalde Foundation for Kids National Student Advocacy and Violence Prevention nonprofit based in Texas released that it will hold a formal protest June 23rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. Now, 7 p.m., Barb. So, I mean, if you're in the area, the sun should be down by then. Poppy's Playhouse in Deloge, Missouri, and it does give the address. You can look that up. I don't really want to say the address. I know I showed it on the legal document, but I'm pretty sure it's easy to find. You can find it if you really want to. After the death last month of nonverbal autistic child Conrad Ashcraft, while under the care of the facility's Park Hills location, the foundation is calling for the closure of both locations. Students from the group have also launched a hunger strike to bring attention to the case as of Tuesday evening. Please keep it peaceful. This is a small town. If y'all want to come to small towns and throw stuff and have fits, this is probably not the one to go to. If that's what you want to do, I can give you different towns, but around there, I just ask that you don't. I'm not saying don't get out there and yell justice for Conrad and bring attention because please do. But we have to keep it respectful because Conrad deserves justice. And a lot of people going out there acting stupid won't do it. And this foundation knows what they're doing. This Uvalde Foundation, this is not their first protest. They're organized, like I said, nonprofit. So if you haven't checked them out, I did put a link in chat. It's probably up toward top. I will go ahead and add that in the description of this live also. But that foundation has launched an independent investigation into the case involving the daycare shortly after the child's death, and the Park Hills location has since had its license revoked. Now, I want to believe that this Daniel, I'm going to say Chapin, Daniel Chapin from this Uvalde Foundation, if they were not involved, I don't know that we've even would be this far. So if you guys will, check that foundation out. I mean, and check out what they do. I know a lot of people are against protesting. I'm not. I think it's your American right. You protest all you want to. You have every right to. Doodlebug, did you see my comment about the licenses and how she's able to stay open? Yeah, I did. And see, that's that's another problem because her being a councilwoman and having worked prior for a prosecuting attorney, she's going to know all of these little things to get around, to keep open, and to get away with stuff. But we, as moms, grandmas, friends, humans, I know how bold of me to assume that everybody in here is human. I already have a fox and I have an owl in here. But at the same time, guys, this is a 3-year-old that had such a long life ahead of him. Such a long, long life. And it's so heartbreaking. Thank you to the Uvalde Foundation. That's amazing they even picked this up because a lot of us in small towns of less than 2,000 people, we never expect someone bigger somewhere else, even in Texas, to even look at us like we even matter. So that really, really matters to me, and I'm sure it matters to Conrad's family because, like I said, they're lost. They're just lost. Al, I let me play this short for you. It will kind of give you an idea of it's really short. It's not long at all. If yeah, there it is.
Imagine dropping off your 3-year-old autistic nonverbal son at his daycare. Imagine when you go to pick him up, the daycare worker says he has been napping for hours. Imagine you go to find him on a cot in a hallway, covered with an 18-pound weighted blanket over him when you know your son, your everything, your heart and soul. He only weighs 21 pounds. Imagine the panic and pain as you see he is deceased and has been for hours. Conrad Ashcraft had been deceased for hours upon his mother's arrival. The daycare worker allegedly tells police that he wouldn't nap, so she put the 18-pound weighted blanket over the top of him until he held still and then, brace yourself, she also laid her legs over him so he couldn't move. Let's jump right into this because, well, it had been over 30 days and absolutely not want to rest.
Yeah, that's just I mean, that's kind of the gist. "Oh, no, you're fine, Al, no big deal." But I was saying that, if any of you would like to cover this, I will, I'll have it all ready for you. I will hand you the case. All you have to do is just share it and talk about it, and that's to any of you out there. You don't have I mean, you know how creators are in here, we all bicker, whatever. But if any of you that are listening like me or don't, it's not about me, it's about Conrad. If you are willing to share his story, I will hand the whole case to you. All you have to do is talk about it. I'm that serious about this. I mean, you can play anything on my channel, everyone knows that. My channel is just for awareness. Anything on my channel, you can play for anything. I never mind. It doesn't matter. Just kind of be a little bit respectful. I know I have a weird voice and I say some weird shit and I know it. But that's okay because this is about Conrad. And if any of you creators or if you guys, some of you guys mod for other creators, if you want to throw this out there and say, "Hey, here's the case," Doodle will send it to me or Doodle will send it to you. I'll hand them the whole case. I just need some bigger creators to help. I've only got like what 3,000 subs. So I could use all the help I could get getting Conrad's story out there because if we can't get the story out, he won't get justice. It's that simple. It's terrible. It's horrific, but he won't. I've seen it time and time again. I mean, honestly. And my email is on my channel page. You can email me. You can get a hold of Arctic. I'm sure half of you know Arctic's number. Get a Arctic can get a hold of me. So many can get a hold of me. If you can't, just get a hold of me. And like I said, I will hand deliver this whole case to you with information. I'll make videos. I'll do whatever I have to do. If you guys will just share it, share it, share it. Because we have to keep fighting and we can't let this go. Because the minute that it gets quiet, this goes away. And that can't happen. We can't have that. But all right, guys. Any questions? Anybody want to come up and discuss this with me for a few minutes or thank you, Al. And if you want company with it, I'll even join you if that's what you want. And I'm sure Dawn will too. I'm willing to even join you guys on a panel to go over it if you need me to. This is just so important to me with this family. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough for being here and listening to me. I know I've been scatterbrained. I get it. But like I said, I have an autistic grandson, and even if I didn't, this is the loss of a 3-year-old child at a daycare. This is what most of us have kids in school. That's like us sending our child to school and not knowing that that's the last time. I just can't. And then I have a friend, Jenny, that is, she's very close to this family, and her children are like my children. They just are. And so this is personal to her too. More personal to her than me. She knows them. I do not. But this is about Conrad and his justice. And as long as we're quiet, nothing will get done. So thank you to the Uvalde Foundation. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And the fact that they're a nonprofit, they're willing to get out here and get it done. Thank you, thank you, thank you from all of our little small communities. Because if we are, they don't hear us. We can stand out there and hoot and holler. We can stand at the courthouse with signs. They don't like us out there, but they'll ignore us. But they can't ignore huge foundations. They can't ignore big creators on YouTube. They can't ignore, hopefully it'll go to Nancy Grace or wherever it can possibly go. But we can't stay silent, guys, because this could be your child. This could be your grandchild. I mean, really, this could be your friend, niece, nephew, whatever. But I will go ahead and end this for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, if any of you are interested in this, I will have this all wrapped with a pretty bow for you. And all you have to do is talk about it. And if you need me up on that panel with you, just let me know and I'll be there. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just end this. Justice for Conrad. Don't stay silent. Scream it. Say his name. He matters. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.
Does anyone understand? Does anyone lend a hand? When the silence starts to bite, will you join me in this fight? Can you see them in your dreams? Can you hear their desperate screams? A heartbeat lost in the night. Oh, will you help me be their voice? In the darkness let's rejoice, 'cause together we